Well, most generally, clear up to recently, I've always done just speakerphone because I live in two worlds at the same time. So as I'm speaking to you and Lindsey, all of heaven is in my head, like we're in a crowd full of people, and they come up to me selectively and bring me messages or introduce themselves to you, or so that you know who they are, so to speak. So I have all these conversations. I'm juggling two worlds at the same time.
Yes, you
So
are.
the reason why I've always done it on speakerphone is, number one, I'm recording it on my end and doing all this stuff, and I don't have time to look at the phone because that disconnects me and frustrates me. But with this situation, the Zoom call, it's been very easy for me to do this. I'm lost between the realms here, so time, I could be on the phone with a person for 2 hours and they think it's 30 minutes because there is a time, there's no time in heaven. And so there's a time warp.
Yeah.
I mean, we sat here just now, Lindsey, and it seems like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because you're in a different place. You're in a higher elevated area currently right now.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing too how you walk away from this lighthearted, and everybody always says to me, when I walk away from that man, I felt like everything I was going through was lifted from me in that moment.
Yeah.
So they walk away euphorically different.
Yes, you do that.
Does that make sense? The first FaceTime call I did was just a few months ago with a lady in Atlanta, Georgia. And the camera caught this light above my head. And she said, I don't mean to stop you during the session, but as you're speaking to me, there's a halo above your head. And I wouldn't have mentioned it, but there was an angel standing in that halo.
Oh.
If I was born blind, I could perceive like you can't perceive, So, but it would be normal for me, and it's normal for me to see light around or energy around people.
Yeah.
But this is all new to me. I'm kind of old fashioned, as you know, with, not knowing how to get on a Zoom call or do these things on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. But I'm coming out of that a bit, and I'm very comfortable with this Zoom call now. And really, normally I would be if you had asked me another time, I said, well, I don't really want to do a Zoom. I don't really want to do that. But I didn't have time to think about that because you said we need to do a Zoom call. So I just got on it and did it. I didn't even think about, the repercussions, or I don't really like that. So it is very comfortable for me to do this. You notice this isn't like a normal reading that you see online. This is more in depth, don't you think?
Yes, I think so. I was
You
amazed.
were great.
I was amazed at what you said to me.
Yes, it was, and Scott he's always saying, Scott's actually saying my
mind just click.
We are teachers and students when we meet people in life, and they learn from us and we learn from them. And I feel like I'm a great teacher for him in a patient way. Although when I first met him to the current moment, pardon, that's my purpose. You're right.
Purpose, and that's how you feel. You feel comforted by that, by helping people along the way.
I do. And another thing, with these gifts, I understand that he will never, ever leave me, ever. But nobody will, because I make this lasting impression that you'll never forget the moment we just had. You may forget me, but you'll remember the things that I said for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
I said to Jesus one day, do people remember me? Will people remember me? He said to me, Greg, you leave an everlasting impression on people, which means the people that's past that's met me, I've helped them in the everlasting life, and they never forget for what I've done for them on this plane.
No.
So I'm everlasting as well as you are. So the things we do here, and even though sometimes transition of relationships and people that come along our path, we may let go of them, but we never lose them.
That's true.
Who's Terry to you?
Huh?
Who is Terry?
Terry?
Or Jerry, yeah.
Oh,
Jerry's my dad.
He's Lisa's dad, and he came in my room several times as a ghost. That is also
this Jerry from heaven is who it's from, and that's what it's referencing, that he's everlasting. He's with you eternally. He'll never be without either of you.
Did he say anything about why he appeared to me?
Well,
Mm-mm.
basically for direction, but a lot of it is dealing with trust or learning how to trust, if that makes sense to you. Because the first thing he said is to teach you to trust.
Yeah, because I feel
Does it make
like
sense?
the reason he showed up in my room at night was because I was supposed to meet Scott and Lisa, and they were supposed to be in my life, and it was like a guidance. And then I met them and got to know them, and I said, "Your dad, I've seen it. It's so I live in the house that he died in." And at first, I just
Oh,
thought it was
okay.
a random
So
ghost.
that's interesting. Well, it does. He's singing me a song in my head that I know from childhood. He's singing a song called "Trust and Obey." And there's no other way to be happy. Uh, I feel like he introduced you to learn to step out and trust others or trust people.
Yes,
And I feel like he was there for that reason or opened the chasm or the doorway to that for you.
yes,
There's a song that says, "Trust and obey." You understand what I mean?
I do
And
because
that's fun.
yes, it's so fun. Um, because when I first met Scott and Lisa, they were, and especially Lisa, she was so open to me, and that I'm used to that I have to be like good enough to get people to like me or something. Like it's not like me, but get people to accept me. To be accepted, I have to like meet these certain guidelines. But Lisa loved me just for who I was, and so that threw me off for a minute.
Just trust that, just trust in
I
that.
just trust that.
Understand? He's also saying to me, phony baloney. Who uses the phrase phony baloney?
I've used it several times. But who else uses that, Lisa?
Oh, Scott.
Scott uses it, yes.
Yeah, because he's referencing that to you all.
Yeah.
That he's with you because all you guys talk about is phony baloney.
Yes.
I would agree with that. Thank you very much. Oh my God. We go around in circles.
Amazing. I don't even have to be in the room you are. I could, have you set 12 people in a semicircle, and I can go from the left to the right and tell each person different things about their lives without seeing them.
Yeah, that's
Can you
amazing.
imagine what it would be like on Zoom to be able to see them? It's kind of cool.
Yes,
So at least it's bringing me out of my shell here, and she's educating me.
it's good. It's very good.
I'm going to be computer savvy. And again, everybody that comes toward me, I know them without knowing. But when I'm in heaven, when you walk up to people, you know everything about them, past, present, and future. And nothing stands in the way of how much you love people.
Yeah.
Nothing stands in heaven. There's just this unadulterated love, and I don't care if you were a murderer. It doesn't make any difference because I just love the people that stands before me in heaven. And it's hard for me or difficult for me on this plane because that's the same love and trust I have when I'm, dealing with people on the conscious level, and they're not there yet.
They're not. They're not.
But then again, I'm not all the way there yet either. But you understand, and that's where the trust and obey comes in. You understand that sometimes, and it's good to trust and step out, but then again, use good discernment with people as well. You understand?
I had to learn that lesson. It was very hard.